Hello people of the internet, what's up? My name is Harper and I welcome you on my channel. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill, so let's get started. Hello guys and what's up? Today we are continuing with the second part of the game called Touchstarved. If you haven't already, please watch the first video to make sense of what's going on in this one. So, without further ado, let's begin. Without another glance, he leisurely strolls down the Cenobium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of a star peeks out from under her collar. I stand there, wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the Cenobium's shut gates, then I follow her down the stairs. We descend from the higher streets, leaving behind their glittered descendants as we cross the river. The wet, delicate districts feel more familiar to me. But the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther, then farther still, until I met with an all too familiar sight. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are highly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for that. But venturing beyond Iridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntary. Let's. This is a setup. This has to be a setup. As soon as I step out there, some friends of yours will ambush and mug me. If I wanted something from you, I would have already taken it. She says it so lightly I almost believe her, even if she looks as physically capable as a toothpick. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Ace. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than that. I squint against the empty wastelands. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently, I'm both. But if this sea spring cured her, I need to show what it can do for me. I set off into the wastes. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Harper. I hope we meet again. My heart pounds with each step I take from the civilization. For what seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward, one step, then another, until the realization hits me. I never told a woman my name. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place, it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honey-magony, an oriental zeal of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, until I am close enough to realize that that I, what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watching me in the distance like statues. I don't think I just run, exploding into a messy sprint. I push my legs as fast as they'll take me towards the decorated building. Flashes of last nights chase me, the gushes of blood and screams of death, the smell of burning flesh and sore bile. I cannot go through that again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and creaking through towering double doors. I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exhaustion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I pro- process my surroundings, it's more a hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth, but the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that this is not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle settles nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. Um, I feel like calling out will just advance the danger, but if we stay silent, it also is dangerous. You know what? Let's call out. Let's take a gamble. Hello, is anyone here? My voice echoes across the caravan without a response. I approach the paper covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for the topmost. I reach for a note that's higher up. It reads, "No one will read this, but it's not for anyone else. This is evidence I existed in the rotten, grim world. Even so, I wish I could have stayed longer. The bog girl will be lonely without me. I should have told her how I." The rest is scratched out. I wonder who wrote this. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty, vacant. Finally, I look towards the sea spring, the stillness that hides something deeper, something wrong. Hey, who is this now? I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different spices and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heel tethers over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step. It's deeper than it looks. That voice again, and the side of it, the soulless feels, the snarls quietening. Oh, I'm guessing this ace that the woman mentioned. Okay. I search for the voice's source and find it over me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. They're the same eyes I've seen over and over, first with the scarred woman, now with the soldier circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. In the surround of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. The soulless growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but they could change at any more second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Here, eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore me when someone's. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? You know what? Let's just say it. I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you. Is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else, almost as if they're waiting for commands. Did you tame them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. My voice stops in my throat. This man's steel coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to diffuse the situation. Uh, we're already rude to him, so why not? Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. Alarms all through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp hurt, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. Heat rushes to my face and fire to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his soulless are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath their wrappings all too well. The hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to set my foot on. I've forgotten my back was to the sea spring. I fall, right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering over the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his finger, the soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt, it gives me a whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a sigh of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no mind to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkway, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden discard is almost insulting. So that's it, I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're ace, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Ace picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the sea, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Yang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. Then in an instant it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. What do you need the three strings power for? Depends. Can it cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow, the sea swing can cure anything. Nothing stops you from trying itself. What do you have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the sea spring. My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. It's not as if I'm averse to elixirs or decoctions. I've made a fair share of it. But one misstep, and you can easily meet with a fate worse than that. Is there a price? Always. Ace taps his temple with a finger. He loosens it a little bit. That's it. Might have already beaten it to the punch. My humor earns me a amused fanged grin. Mm-hmm. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of this before. Group minds. Some legends suggest that independent minds can be physically linked together through a strong enough catalyst. It's never been done before. But something tells me that this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you always haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Ace strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I got somewhere to be. There are still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to here to I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back to the free string. A long ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Ace's advice and clamp my mouth shut. Ace approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky, dog-like one, with 6 legs and a crown of tentacle. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when I squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tentacles, scratches its chin, and pats its head. A gentle smile plays across Ace's lips. The affection he holds for the soulless is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this principle will guide you back. Following a short whistle from Ace's lips, it trots over to the entrance obediently, tail swaying. I watch the soulless warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If decided to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like me. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give a small nod. At least I know I have another option for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the soulless with a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When about to cross the threshold, I seek one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Ace's eyes. I am about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Till next time, Sparrow, I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. Outside, more crimson-eyed soldiers scuttle about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack for before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the soldiers look over his shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dusk darkens the sky. By the time we reach the city, the soldier sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. Uh, let's pet the soulless, because why not? As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the soulless's tentacles and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ace had. It pushes into my palm in response, grumbling with a sound akin to a purr, but the vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the soulless spins around and scampers back in the distance we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Aridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible. Tamed soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Aridia. The city, labyrinth, even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought that this part of the city abandoned. I make my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the victory. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? Something's wrong. Let's trust my instincts. The final hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a vision of discomfort running down my spine. Something's wrong. My eyes dart from one side to the street to another, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink, and I see nothing. I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder. Maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come streaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The soldiers that attacked the caravan. It's crouched over a dark, instinct shape, a body. A garland of intestines spills from pallid flesh. Blood crawls from the cobblestones for mercy. The soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I just can't stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heels. The wall seems to slow to a crawl as the Solus raises his head, blood dripping from his tentacles. Every single one of his sulphurous, bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's coming back for me. We have only one option, so let's just run. I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened alleys. Behind me, piercing bullets splits the silence, and heavy footfalls sprout after me. My heart thunders in my chest, and I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its beating now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arms swipe out, a duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the soulless looms in the entry of the alley. It's in no hurry. Some of the buildings lining the street are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but scream for help. Somebody help me. My voice rings through the shadowed streets. Silhouettes pass by the windows, but nobody answers. In this stretched world, few people will stick their necks out to help their own flesh and blood. Never mind a stranger. The soul is provoked by my shouting, gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestone betrays me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill, but the impact never came. I barely crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. The moonlight silvers the edge of their silhouette knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the soulless. My eyes dart past the unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind him. The soulless's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from underneath its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but swear it's dead. After all the people it's killed, after killing me twice, nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it. Well, I generally take the offered hand, the stranger gaze dips to my bandages, pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With a strength belaying the slight form, they pull me to my feet. As soon as I'm on my way on 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the Soulless's gangly body. With the back towards me, I realized that I saw the hooded silhouette at the cenobium. Uh, I am pretty sure I should not insult someone who just saved me. So you saved me or you were at the cenobium. Should I confront him or should I just state a fact? You know what? Let's confront him. I've seen you before. You were at the cenobium earlier, weren't you? They cast a wary look at me. So what if I was? Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking of traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they see me, and now they scold me. Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the soulless corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Harper. Mihin. Suddenly Mihin tenses. The blades flash as they drive it into the base of the soulless skull, right before the cervical vertebrae. The soulless trance once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Mihin leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Mihin straightens up, withdrawing the blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. They struck with surgical precision. The click, quiet, clean moves are familiar. Oh, so there's a. Okay, so are you a scientist? Because it's in red. That means unique interactions. Are you a scientist? Mihin stops mid-motion, lifting the head to stare at me. You knew exactly where to start. Have you studied anatomy or medicine? Not quite. Why is soulless inside the city? Mihin looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium's patrol on borders to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of a Cenobium. I wouldn't go that far. The brow abruptly furrows, and they sheathe their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell that. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride around the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? You're making an unbearable racket. Next time you walked into a soulless's claws, at least die quietly. The answer is stingingly harsh. Uh, which one should I do? You know what? Fine. So this is the rude one. You know what? He's been nothing to me but rude, except for saving me. So, you know what? Fine. Fed up, I don't bother holding back anymore. I don't know why you'd dive in out of nowhere to kill some dangerous soulless, then be rude to the person you help, but go right ahead. Mihin blinks, staring at me like my head just spun around on my neck. They open their mouth, then close it. Looking uncertain, I forge onward, gathering steam. How was I supposed to know there'd be a dangerous soulless hunting in the streets? You don't have to be an asshole about it. You're not as spineless as you look. Harper? I turn, surprised by the voice. Kuros walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine, despite the grim of the city. Hello, Mihin. I see that soulless was your work. Mahin shrugs. There's a familiarity where they regard each other. Uh, you know what? Because he looks lonely, we have to go with this one. I don't know you had friends, Mahin. I don't. Freelance work is dangerous, and Kulas is a doctor, that's all. Harper needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another soulless. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Harper? I'm staying at the Redwick. Both their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. That would be nice. Mehan clicks her tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Going to the Armorises district? That gaudy aspect? Come, this way. Despite Mehan's clear distaste, when Chorus leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Mehan's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Chorus is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Mehan gives me is an answer enough. I catch Kuro's hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having grumpy shadow all the way back to the Wedwick. The route Kuros takes is completely different from my slow bantering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisting alleys. It seems like half the city has poured into the Armalises district. Colorful streets, laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wedwick. Its doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves forward towards the door, and Mihin lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the caravan. As soon as the door opened, a wave of sickly fever rolls over me. And now the wreck has grown sophisticated ground. Cole stands up easily in front of me. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. The crowd passes through answering his request. Cole's glances over and soon overgliding. How can anyone breathe in here? And follows Cole's unclipped pace. Neander is right and reluctant, although his great places with the battle. His holding foot and shot glasses fulfilling the fruitless And now for a finishing touch. A flash of magic makes the glasses white. And never go to the Leander slides across a circle of flower, and I get my third and fourth shocks of the evening in rapid succession. Harris leans against the bar, and elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and his gun onto the right. Before turning it upside down, the conscience magically will stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make praise for the bar. Don't want to be wasted on. Your purchase on the bar's counter behind eyes. Takes a single look at the shopdoors and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of bogus? Leander's nose stares you're ridiculous. We are rich and she is flattened by Ace offers him a job. He turns his cheek with a sniff, and lays the Snickers. Coward. Don't tell me actually. In one slow motion, Ace throws back his head and draws his sword. Ring back. A dark look crosses over Ace's face. It's cheery. Cheery? Wait, let me try it then. Behind me, Mayhem grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't, put us in the hill. The sound of my voice made his pale eyes grow wide. They looked ready to bolt and me. Chorus, that's your hand on my shoulder. I promise this will not take long. Mayhem eyes dart from Chorus's hand to his face, then softened. Fine, you first. So I stepped forward and struck by the sound of the all of the people I met today know each other. Good evening, and a drinking competition, I presume? Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was only. Just so friendly lively, Doctor. Nothing. Gus acknowledges Leon with a slight smile. You know, you entirely not to be a sense to mine. He takes his head with an impish smile, curves his lips and starts looking silently. I almost didn't see you then. Looking for your boots to see. Moon pushes back the lover. I thought I was willing to out of his inspection. He is still with unwanted. At the first sign of impending fight, Leander walks clearly over the counter. She slides in between Ace and Chris. Now, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day that the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His snakes around Chorus. You finally taking me up on a drink, right, Chorus? I'm afraid not. I will merely escaping Harper back to the lodge. Chorus pedestrian in my direction and my stomach. I quickly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, he understands his brightness. Harper explained to me and learned this is not patience over body down. I feel 5 pairs of ice fixated and suddenly bounce suffocating and my voice nearly catches me. Hi, again. Hi everyone, again. Again? Wait, you've already met everyone? Ace and Vera level me with some expressions. Fear still gives a lazy back. We did, not that long ago. I'm sorry to hear that. He's doubting you. He looks far from me. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? And instead all eyes turn to one, praying for a privilege. I still can't believe they know each other. Watching them talk among themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to reading, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know, as mentioned. The low frozen crumble of the was rapid, totally from the restless stars. Ha! But unsurprised, it makes friends fast, Harper. I know that it isn't like acquaintances. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends who haven't had a drink yet. A wise man, you said that here. Here, his lips curl with the state of the crossbar. Leander clears his throat and knees, unperturbed. Let's toast to Harper's health. Care to join the doctor? Chris quietly replied and declined with a wave of his hand. How about you? No, I not. tiny town Part-2 pierces the limit because they are turning flares into bottles. Here looks almost restfully as it sips the overflowing fluid from the bottle. Poured from a bottle so warm, its lay on a warm glass. They serve champagne here? Since when? You pause in the middle of drinking champagne full from simplicity quiet smile. You don't mind, do you? The transformation as impressive as it lacks. The concern Leander's face vanishes as she laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you got some expensive taste. Huh. Then he shoots the bud in a frantic glow. I'm boarded on an English advice company. I Kansas headache. A light. How about you, Stan? I did sad by no, no, not really. I cigarettes, piano, and the stars. In the dim light, the glintings from the night looks downright dangerous. What will be, Harper? I'll take you up, but it's not one of those insurance. Don't knock them until you've tried them. It is better than. Somehow it does. They hold my tongue longer because they are there's none of them. And a glass of things he only shrugs. Like I said, they were chewing. Probably poison too. Consider his own tumbler of amber colored. The endless tried to tell me a different time back. It's always a gamble. Your click system is so it's with a how there is softened by this third glass of champagne. Where are you? I won't let near anything around. He fans his fingers over his fist, tripping the first The Bedwick is one of the finest reinforced establishments in all of Florida. While you're here, you might as well take part the signature water dumplings and the stale not yet. The sweets is hand towards the chipped salmon, cold drinks, speckled syrup. I can only assume it's what is it food in this as nearly as it's complete bag. So that's all that. A stick symbolizes a single history. What is taken out of the real version, sir? Before I can ask what it means, Leander returns to the tongue that he sets in front of him. And even inside cocked eyes, Bob, that is purple. Smoker brings simplicity to the gnarly. This time all I smell is the sharp, clean scent of gin with an undercurrent of fermented fruit. Relax, it's just a local facility. Plums in. Although if you're feeling more adventurous, I shake my head and the end of grabs the breakfast for salad. Alright everyone, let's toast. May Harper stay in Iridia, full of gladness and discovery. Cheers. Leander is somewhere. Use the glass and brushes the humps and cooler spots as well. Polite. I tip back my drink. The plum is our water, so despite its sharp medical urge, goes unseen. Once it's sparkling the edge of the experience the dinner the crowd is into low pressure with my kind of confined with the podcast and twice aren't you the popular one, Harper? I'm guessing you met Chorus first. Everything more accurate to say that I found. He's in my life. I'm married for my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit that I will go missing on my clothes. The choke noise somewhere behind the side. Not too. Harper was wasn't great condition. I could create Harper changes with practical clothes, silently falls, sweated uncomfortably long. I look away and never face colossal disappointment. Catch reared, snickering behind his hand. That might change the topic. Chris isn't the only one who said, don't you listen. Honest, Avery, you were simply there. That's meant for you. Neander reaches for me, but it doesn't practice. Without so much as looking at me. As the lovers asked him, you're one to talk considering your ability to wander, stay on the streets all night. I might have gotten a little distracted. Me and someone was short break. At any rate, I never got a chance. Though the less slowly survived, the better. The heartbeat Megan's eyes split towards is too busy running around to raise enthusiastic fun of stabbing noise, lost no feelings. Have enough of this alone. Let's go. Megan was so grateful that the girl very well, but there is something I must discuss with Leanne. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to save my dream sound. Also, I think that the was so soft, and the words basically were lost to kind. I turned to crimson and pink cats in the It's not lost on me that they choose the instant that is instead. Just smile. I had to be abandoned with him to most children who I met on much as not. They know to me what I will do if either of them kiss me again. Don't tell me you're snuck off to get slaughter now. He's got me on his coolest. You want more business? Isn't it lucky? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Pierre has gone noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand, uses his wits whenever Hiccup shakes his head. Why are you so quiet? Pats the empty parcel behind the keys, but I hesitate. The smile here wears a strong, distinct stride, and with drinks in the mix, I dread how he is masterfully mixed. We don't that. I'm not sure, but just a few hours ago he tried to run and you threatened him. Me still, sir, you must be mistaken. Shares me? Yes, it was you. Then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. Use another one of his drugs. I was lonely. Something else than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Your son stands forward, draws mercilessly, is pulling where he tilts elbows on his knees. I sense his hand and feels his face, narrowly preventing taking over counting. How about distractions? Begin with proper interactions, get up on the right and whatnot. I'll start. My name's Hunter of Extra Down. Weird right and flutters to his side, clicking when flinching when hair falls over his eyes. Is insane. So I suppose it's good. It's Harper. Will considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to inform you. He says my name slowly, deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle drops down his spine. I quickly turn my gaze barks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Is something funny? Nope. I open my eyes and close it just as quick. They wanted to be good and play like I did it correctly, while the sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge. Something about the sense of this. Fun. It must be the gin. A flash of white over ice is shown across open. Also about 260 I don't see any under but it feels down. Weird hums and wags his fingers at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, carefully not to touch anyone. Just as I'm leaving chorus, I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, Stetson. The words spill out on their own. You watch it. I regret them as soon as I leave my mouth. That fucking gin. The roughneck wheels around and swing a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did he say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart keeps pounding. You tried to start something in here? The roughneck freezes, his fists cocked back. A group of bloodhounds, called by the commotion, circling him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs, spits on the floor next to me, the lob narrowly missing my cheek. Screw it, too many freaks in this night. He turns his back on me and came face to face with eyes. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Ice fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps and shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet as the frantic crowd surrounds me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, "Hey, hey, Ice, take it outside. Ignore them, everyone. Look, rings are on me." It is for us. The wig erupts with loud hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch a glimpse of familiar faces. West vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Chorus lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Main drops down to the pilot forces bar shutter, while Will leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine behind the counter. Leander sits at the opposite end of the bar, just as dramatically and apologetically as the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll ever see any of them again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. What? All of them are interesting options. But I guess Ace, since he is fighting someone, he looks like the most interesting one. Morbid curiosity drives me after Ace. I slink out the back of the wet wig. The alley's dead silent, not really what I expected from a fight. A dull crunch reaches my ears, then a thud. I peer around the corner of the building, careful to keep hidden. Dark glistening lights splatter the ground, spidering through the seams of cobblestone. It guides my eyes to a collapsed body across from me. Once so violent, the roughneck is now little more than a simple sack of crumpled flesh blotted with mud. Ice exhales, his breath misting against the cold air. Blood frets his knuckles as he looms over the motionless body, his feet on either side of it. Fear spreads like ice in my bones. Moments ago he was joking or friendly with the others, but now Ace crimson eyes find me in the dark. Not running, Sparrow? I wearily rise to my feet, moonlight illuminating my face. I thought I was out of sight. Got eyes in the back of my head. I step softer of neck, my eyes still locked on the body. It's wet with layers of blood and grime, completely still. He's alive. Are you sure? Calling me a killer or a liar? Hmm, I guess liar. Liar, which I guess is both. In that case, he's dead. I squint, and he smirks back. Don't believe me? To be honest, it's hard to believe anything coming out of your mouth. I'm a liar after all. His bloody knuckles catch his attention. He tries to rub them clean, but ends up smearing the blood around more. I keep making bad impressions on you. I didn't know you cared about my opinion. Just prefer you didn't piss yourself when we talk. Annoyance bubbles in my chest. Well, I'm not pissing myself, even with your bad impressions. Like the first time we met, Ace chips away at my fear, replacing it with irritation instead. Ace kneels beside Roughneck and flicks him. I can't help but wonder if the crime was worth the punishment, but I hold my tongue. Deftly, Ace's hand searched through the Roughneck's pockets. It didn't take him long to find his prize, a cigarette and his matchbox. He struck the match. Sparks light up his angular features with a golden glow. It's distracting for a moment, but my gaze inevitably drops back to the muddy body. You're just gonna leave him there? Ace draws deep from the cigarette. He exhales heavily, smoke curling past his lips. I breathe in the sweet, spiced scent of cloves. As his tension melts away, he looks at me with cold, lidded eyes. Should I give him a blanket? Unbothered by the maybe cops, he takes a seat on the crate opposite the bar. I stand awkwardly, forgetting why I came out here in the first place. An unpleasant silence stretches between us. Weather's nice, cold, murky, and humid. I want to believe he's teasing me, but for all I know, this is present for Lydia. Was Princess good company? Who? He takes another long drag. His metal rings catch the light of the cigarette in a flash of red. The soldiers who escorted you back. You named it Princess? Jealous? I return his smile. You have no idea. Mm-hmm. I think your name's more fitting. Sparrow? Not sure where I got it from. Maybe I should tell him to call me by a name, but it's kind of nice. Not that I'll ever tell him that. Before I can discard my feelings, I quickly change the subject back to the soulless. She was cute. She was kind of cute, in a weird way. I glanced absentmindedly at my hand. remembering how she nuzzled into my palm at my touch. Eyes, his eyes softened for a brief moment. Her tail wouldn't stop going when she came back. The group of them don't get much attention. Thinks she's cute now? Wait till you see her tricks. You taught her tricks? Princess is a smart one. She'll learn anything if you have the right words. Sounds about right. The idea of tame soldiers is so outlandish, so I was mauled by a mindless bloodthirsty beast. Now he's talking about them like they're pets. But it's possible, all because of the sea spring. I need to get the answers he wouldn't give me before. I carefully take a seat beside him on the crate, contemplating my surgery. He doesn't seem to mind. He closes his eyes, tilts his head back against the wall, relaxed. Without the pressure of his intense gaze, I can feel myself easing up too, as long as I keep my attention away from the bloody heap across from us. I glance over at her ease, allowing my eyes to linger. A sea glass colored tattoo spirals up his arm, painting over grooves of muscle. Silver jewelry glinting in the moonlight. It draws my eyes to his bare chest, rough hands, carved jaw. His ears, his horns, his pupils, everything about him is sharp, even the fangs that only show when he grins. But as dangerous as he appears, I can't help but wanting to know more. I wonder how recently he crossed over to this world and why. What's your verdict? I whipped my head in the opposite direction. What verdict? Got a long, good look. Are you impressed? Or do I need work? My face goes hot. I've seen worse, sir. You're annoying. You're annoying. You're annoying. He responds with a low chuckle, draped in smoke. Didn't stop you from staring. My embarrassment spikes. Without thinking, I blurt out a changing topic. I have questions about the sea spring. Boredom eclipses amusement in an instant, and he closes his eyes again. Of course you do. I thought I'd made myself clear what you'd be giving up. Before you kick me out of drawing, I still need to know more. My attempt for a question. It sounds more like an order than anything else. I bristle under his narrowed gaze. Fine. He takes a long pull from his cigarette and lets the smoke trail slowly from his lips. You're curious. What about it? This song and dance is all too familiar. The selfish questions come first. What does it do? Is it painful? Can you control it? I brace myself for the inevitable onslaught. Is the thought of living with it really so unbearable? My dread dies with his words. No one has asked me that before. You survived this long, unless you're running out of time. I wonder if it's really worth the sacrifice. He flicks a cigarette aside and props his head on the blood-smeared knuckles. But what do I know? I'm just an outsider. My fingers fuss with the trim of my coat. Ordinarily, I'd feel annoyed, but now my chest feels tight. You could have sold me if you were less honest. You're a shit salesman. Thought I was. I changed my mind. He laughs in the silence again. This time, it's surprisingly nice. The quiet chill that is coming to life. You know, you don't seem like an outsider back at the bar. A lot of people like you. Ice raises a brow at me. I start asking about. No, he's close with him, I guess. I was surprised to see that you and Vera are close. Mm-hmm. Blessing and a curse. From what I've gathered, most people think he's, I don't know, an asshole. And what is wet? I wait for him to elaborate at his thoughts, but he doesn't. So what do you like about him? He lets out a quiet laugh, as if amused by my question. A lot of things. You like that he's an asshole? Temperament matches the drapes. Looks good in blood and better in tears. Favorite thing subtle. Sometimes it fizzes up if you. He catches himself, clears his throat. It's hard to not to let the disappointment show in my expression. Here is one of the most honest people you'll meet. Just don't listen to a single thing he says. Those sound like complete opposites to me. Leander. You and Leander clearly get along well. You like Leander? Doesn't everyone? He's helped me a lot since I arrived in Aradia. He even got me a free room at the Witwick. His charm has got him informed, but for a leader, he sure likes it when others take control. Part of me desperately wants to ask what he means, but Ice continues before I get the chance. Plus, we get along. I thought we'd be at each other's throats instead of drinking worries. His smile is easy, but his dangerous edge to it. Leander's done a good job for a human. Naturally, there come a time when his resolve is tested. Same could be said for anyone this plane or the next. As for my resolve, well, stick around in our area long enough and you'll find out. I nod slowly. I can't decide if it sounds like a promise or a threat. Got any more observations, Sarah? Mihin. He sounds interesting. Maybe Mihin doesn't necessarily like you, but they definitely pay attention to you. Ace's reaction takes me off guard. He growls, pinches the bridge of his nose as exaggerated as I've ever seen him. I make enemies as easily as a breeze sparrow. Don't bother me. Doesn't bother me. But that dove's got it out for me for no reason. Maybe there is unsettled by the sea spring. It's not about that. Goes without saying that they've got some issues. Don't think they understand that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Honey has left a bad taste in my mouth in the past. It could be the same for them. At least you're capable of a conversation. Do me a favor and teach us that some manners. Though they'd lay off eventually if I didn't bite. Hasn't happened yet. I briefly considered the possibility that Mihin wants to get bitten, but I'm not about to propose that though. Chorus. I didn't know that you and Chorus were friends. Clinic sometimes. Doctor doesn't let most people closer than normal. You do. Hard to believe. Your son's Chorus was like that in the past. Must have been burned. He trails off after our last few words, then shrugs. He opens up in his own ways, if he realizes enough. I don't know even how you meant that. You'd be surprised, and the doctor has an endearing side. I can't decide what's so intriguing. The fact that Chorus is an endearing side, or the idea that Ace has managed to coax it out of him. Tell me if you uncover any of his other secrets. I'll kill to know more. My main point is that, speaking from experience, being an outsider usually means that you don't have any friends. I don't. I'll level him with a tired look. Fine, I confess, I have one friend. Don't say yourself. Orchidus. My skin prickles at her. Who's that? A friend. It lives in my head. It lives in your head? He stabs his temple with a anger. Right here. Scared you off yet? That'd be the third bad impression I've made on you today. I stunned for a long moment, processing what he just told me. Then I burst into a fit of laughter. You're serious? Ace grins far enough to flash his fangs. Deadly. It sounds so fucking absurd that I can't help it. On top of everything I've gone through today, it feels like I'm living a fever dream. I've come to the modern town and it's us and a hard man. Now I'm supposed to believe that there's tears in my eyes at the time I read myself in. It's personally. It's correct in amusement. Sorry, it just sounded so ridiculous. The tension that wounded my shoulders so tightly has melted away, and for the first time in a long time, I feel I can breathe. I feel better. Ducas, where in the rat's ass are we? Roger's gruff house rise at the street, echoed by the sound of heavy boots slushing around the mat. The voices shared a bit of my thanks from the bar, the same of who still saved it, and I lucky the crossroad. I knew it forgot on him. Sometimes he yelled at was scared out the closing quick. I just remember this out of the alley, away from the moonlight. We dive into a nook between buildings, veiled in the shadow of tattered canopies. It's that fate Ace pulsed me in against the wall, his body all but pressed against mine as he towers over me. What's in the air? He scent of smoke engulfs me. The scent of the metallic stains of someone else's blood. I suspect his voice low, but my heart leaps in my throat. I'm suddenly acutely aware of the heat radiating off his eyes, his body, the feeling of his legs grazing my thighs, the closeness of his bed. This is bad. I squirm against him, earning a burning crimson glare. Do we really have? His mouth covers my mouth, muffling my whispers. He shakes his head. Don't. Damn, he's over here. Dukas, wake up, you bastard. A group of individuals all brandishing spiked weapons fill the alleyway. They're all wearing the violent sashes, some kind of uniform. I wish I could see what they're doing, but Ace's arm all but blocks my vision. My eyes trail up the T markings, all around his arm, his bicep, then leading up to Ace's collarbone, to the cords hanging around his neck, and to the smuggest smirk I've ever seen. Bite him. I move before I can think, opening my mouth enough to bare my teeth and bite down on Ace's palm hard. He winces, surprise flashing across his features. His hand leaves my mouth and I gasp in air. My breath is rapid from adrenaline, but when I lick my lips, when I taste the metallic tinge of blood, that's when I realize I broke skin. Panic builds in my chest, my body tenses, bracing for his reaction. Every movement he makes is slow and deliberate. He bends down, leans close to my ears, and a husky whisper only I can hear. At least someone could draw blood today. A hot chill jolts through me. For a heartbeat, I forgot to breathe. Voices in the alley grab attention this time. Shit, he's got more broken ribs than the whole ones. What kind of freak did this? Fan out, Find a cocksucker responsible, you three. Take Lucas back to base. At least he's still breathing. The alley clears our footsteps rushes away from us. We stay still until the distant melting away into the rumble of thick water. When we finally step back into the moonlight, the night air is ice on my skin. I feel dazed and the need to keep my eyes off Ace at all cost. Was that really necessary? The tremble to my voice is nothing but embarrassing. Could ask you the same thing. Didn't the sparrows could bite? You're lucky I didn't do worse. Charming. The thought of biting that shitty grin off his face is definitely tempting. Stay hidden is the best option. Would be hassle to run into them, with you there. What, because I'm dead weight? Because 3 bad inflation are enough for one day. The answer is too vague for my liking, but he's probably right. Either way, I don't have the energy to argue. Come on, Sparrow, let's get you home before you're framed for murder. Very funny. We reached the front of the Whitwick too quickly. I hate to admit it, but I don't want to spread from my eyes yet. And not just because he never answered my questions. Including as easily as he makes me feel on edge. He can make me feel safe, secure, somehow. You know where to find me. At the creepiest place in the world. Take your time before you decide to drink. I happen to like his shitty attitude. It takes me a moment to process it. Then my eyes flood down to my feet. I'll keep that in mind. When I glance back up from the ground, Iris is already down the street, disappearing into the throng of people. No fanfare, not even a hug. Asshole. Oh, choose your fate. Um, he's the most interesting of them all. As the demon renegade, an intimidating yet laid-back outsider, Ace presides over a sea spring with unwavering powers. He offers you a miracle, but the price means submitting yourself to the horrifying presence at the heart of the spring. Will you gaze into the whisper answers, even at the risk of losing yourself? It's either going to be him or him. Leander, the heroic meets. Leander offers you something that should be impossible, a taste of normality, free of your curse. As the first person to withstand your touch, he could change your life, but some things are simply too good to be true. Leander promised to help unravel your curse, but at what cost? Hmm, you know what? Leander, yes. Thank you for playing. For more Touchstarved, visit www.redspring.studio. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I hope to. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Hope you have a great day ahead. And I'll be back with another awesome video real quick, real soon. Till then, bye bye.